Hi everyone, Claire here. I previously recorded this one and the video went funky, so unfortunately I'm just going to have to talk you through it. I haven't got time to record a new one before it's supposed to go up. So this is called a gel skin transfer, and basically you take a piece of paper with any paper, whatever image you're wanting to do, and I've taken a piece of old music paper, and then you paint on your gel in several layers. The one that I found that works the best is the Claudine Helmuth Studio Matte Multi-Medium in the gloss. I haven't found a better one yet. Obviously you can try other ones. I can tell you that the one I used earlier, the Eco Green Matte Medium, does not work at all. It's pretty rubbish as far as image transfers are concerned all round. But this one is in the gloss, gives you the best result. Okay, so what you would do is take your image that you want to turn into a gel transfer, take a brush, and then you want to put an even coat on, and what you would do is put it on this way, and you keep your brush going this way only. So you've got a nice standard coat on, you leave that to dry. This is why I don't have time to redo it. And then you come back to it, and then you do a coat going this way, and then you leave that to dry, and then you come back and do a coat that way, and then leave it to dry, and then that way. So basically you're altering the direction in which you're going, and just keep it to north, south, east, west, shall we say. You want to put about 6 coats on. If it's a thick medium that you're using, like this one, and it's still quite runny, but it's actually quite thick at the same time, if that makes sense. If you use it, you'll know what I mean. But if you want at least 6 coats, basically. See how shiny it is. Okay, and then you want to make sure that you just get it on one side. You don't want to get it on the back at all. If you get it on the back, then you've ruined your technique. So again, I'm going to use a spray bottle and the texture sponge, which we went over earlier. So gonna spray that nice and let that soak in. You can see it soaking in. It's going through quite nicely. Sometimes just pushing it in with your fingers on the vintage paper just helps it along. A little bit more. Okay, so this is obviously on the back, the plastic side is on the front. So then again, I'm going to start rubbing, and I'm going to go from the middle out. And the vintage paper comes off really well. Oh, you can already see the matte coming through. Hey, Batch. It's kitty tea time, so I might have a visit or two. Okay, it's not quite soaked through there, so a bit more water on. very much like the other one, it is patience based. But once you've got a bit of practice, you can get this off really quick. I do recommend that you keep it flat to your table when you're doing it, because you can distort the gel, and if you pull and stretch when you're rubbing it off, so you're pulling it, then you can distort your image, because it will stretch like a latex, I suppose is the best way to be describing that. Okay, probably going to fast forward now. Okay, here we go. So you can see again we've got the white fluffy bits on the back, and you do have to be careful near the edges, because it is quite easy to tear on the edges where it's thin. So if you want a nice raggedy edge, do it thin around the edges. You can also see here where the gel has gone on both sides. And go to focus. Go on. There you go. So it's covered the paper on both sides, so I can't get that off. So that would need to be cut or pulled off very carefully. So again, I'm going to take my texture sponge, and it's quite dry at this point. You do want it to be quite dry when you do this. And I'm going to give it a rub. Be very careful when you go into the edges to do that when you do this, because it is very easy to tear. Very easy. I always make sure I go larger than what the actual space that I need, just to make sure that I don't tear the image that I need. This works wonderful if you do it with magazine images as well. And I'm not sure if I actually mentioned it earlier, but I always do this technique with a laser printed image or old book page. Old book page works well. Any book page works well, really. But if you're doing it with an inkjet printer, it's not going to work. So if you're art journaling and you use a lot of images from magazines, this is really good technique to do, because you can layer up, and obviously you've made a see-through image, so you can get the image underneath if you want to put it up over something. Okay. So I've fuzzied off this side, not particularly done this side, and you can see it's a lot better at being see-through. Let me just find an image to show you. Gosh, I never thought about showing you what it looked like through. Oh, here we go. Went to Debenhams. So there's the image in the catalogue, and there you can see it through. With the wood one, when you coat over the wood one, sorry, come on. When you coat over the wood one, that does take away any little remaining spots of fluff that you've got. When you stick this one down, stick it down with gel medium, and it will take the whiteness off it, so it will become clearer as well. If you can't stick it down with gel medium, then just go over the back again with the cheap one, and that just makes them become clear. Right. So if you want to have this completely clear as part of a project, maybe hanging or as a window or something, then there you can see the difference. So this bit's not been gel mediumed at the back, and this bit has. So you can see a very distinct line there between the two, especially on the back. So yeah, you can see how much clearer that is. And it all basically just depends on how much of the fluff you get off. If you spend quite a lot of time on it and you want it a really clear piece, you can get all that fluff off without using the gel medium trick. But as I say, life's too short to stuff a mushroom, so I do cheats quite a lot. Okay, sorry about that. My first video going splat, but I don't know what happened to that. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again. And if I get a chance next week, I'll record part A showing the actual full process. But it is really simple. Just make sure that every time you do a coat, you go in a different direction the next time, and make sure you do about 6. And it's quite thin. Okay, thanks for watching.